Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today it is Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And I know what you're thinking, where did you get such a cool shirt? But you know what? It was gifted to me by somebody that I connect with on Twitter, on social media. His name's Josh McNair. He was super cool. He sent this over along with a 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi shirt, and he even sent me an action figure that he says won't fit into his collection. So I'm going to find something to do with that so I can show that off in the near future. But anyways, today is all about Star Wars. And you know, the cool thing about Star Wars, and it's the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi this month. It'll be like May 25th will be the 40th anniversary of its release. This was probably one of my favorite movies. Now, I know people will say Empire Strikes Back is probably their favorite of the original trilogy, but I gotta say Return of the Jedi has a lot going for it. It's got that epic battle scene at the beginning over the Sarlacc pit. It's got that fantastic speeder bike chase on Endor, and then of course that epic space battle where Lando Calrissian is flying through the innards of the Death Star. But I wanted to talk about Star Wars because I think it's something that a lot of people could get behind. We don't have to all agree on everything. I mean, there's lots of people that don't think The Last Jedi was good, they don't like the sequels. There's a lot of things about Star Wars that we can disagree on. But it doesn't mean that we have to like hate Star Wars or anything like that. I think Star Wars is pretty good because one of the things that it gives me is like, I collect stuff that's Star Wars. Look at this. This is the Disney 23 magazine. This has the Rogue One cover on it. When I saw this cover, this is why I wanted this 23 magazine, for that cover. So I've gotten a few more over the years just to take a look at the magazines, but I think it's really cool that they did that Star Wars cover. And it's interesting to me, the stuff that I've held on to over the years, like this crazy magazine with The Empire Strikes Back. I know it's not Return of the Jedi, it's Empire Strikes Back, but it's still Star Wars themed, and that's what I'm talking about. So I have my Laserdisc collection of Star Wars A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and of course, Return of the Jedi. And this is where you can watch the original in pretty good clarity. It's not high definition at all. It's like a lower resolution, but it is pretty clear. And you can watch it without all of those special effects that were added in later if you wanted to see it that way. But you know what? Today what I want to do is I just want to talk about how Star Wars brings people together, because right now everybody's talking about this season of The Mandalorian and people have mixed reviews on that. But there's a lot of people that also collect action figures. And look at my Star Wars collection. I know I give Hasbro a hard time, especially the Star Wars team. But come on, I'm filling shelves with Star Wars figures because I can't get enough of Star Wars. I just want them to make characters that they're not just rehashing an old character. I want them to come out with newer stuff that's like relevant. I want them to finish off my vintage collection, basically, my vintage Kenner collection in Star Wars figures, and then move on and start making all the other characters. And I know a lot of people want a bunch of colorful Mandalorians after this last season of The Mandalorian, so that is great too. But I'm going to talk about 4 action figures from Return of the Jedi that I really, really dig. And I'm going to show them off to you right now. So number 1 is the speeder bike Scout Trooper. I really like this guy's uniform. It's kind of interesting though, because as I got older, I really loved that helmet. But as I got older, I started thinking, this guy's got those blinders that you would put on a horse to keep him from getting scared about the stuff coming up from the side. So it takes away his peripheral vision. But I guess he's got to have that if he's speeding through the forest and needs to be concentrated on what's going on ahead, right? My next favorite figure from the Return of the Jedi line in the Black Series is, of course, this all-new sculpted Boba Fett that they came out with a year ago. Now, they do have this guy in that retro card, which I think is pretty cool, and they did touch up the yellow. I'm just joking. You know, I got to give them a hard time a little bit. But anyways, this guy's pretty good. He's pretty universal. The helmet can come off if you want to go up there and break the glue cap and all that kind of stuff. And I've done it on some of the other Boba Fetts that I have picked up on clearance, but I didn't do it to this guy. That's why he's still complete. But Boba Fett is another one of my favorites. Now, I had this one in my collection for quite a while, and this is Darth Vader. This is the Return of the Jedi one, and the reason I know is because he's got this chain holding on his cape, but more so, his helmet comes off and reveals his head. Now, I know there's going to be another release of this with a much updated head sculpt underneath, and that is super fantastic, and I can't wait to get that one. And the last of my 4 figures that I really like is this Luke Skywalker. This was the Walmart exclusive of the Jedi Luke Skywalker from the beginning of the movie, where he's wearing this like outer robe piece. And I really like the way this one looks over that light cruiser one that came out for the Mandalorian, because I think this one is really sculpted more so after Mark Hamill. I really liked this one a lot, and I do like that other one, but for some reason this one is my favorite of the 2. But anyways, there are plenty of other figures that came out for Return of the Jedi, and you can look at my collection and you can see that there's plenty of figures here. Now, I've customized quite a few, and I think that's okay to do when Hasbro's not giving you a figure that you want. I did this 9 here, and of course I did that so he could go with the General Calrissian for that final scene of Return of the Jedi, which is probably one of my favorite space battles ever, with Lando flying through the innards of the Death Star. And I think it's amazing, and I just cannot turn my head away every time I have that thing playing. But anyways, I don't know if you've noticed, but down at the bottom of the screen, I've been putting up like images, and I just want to say these are some of the people that I connect with in relation to Star Wars and collecting. And I wanted to kind of give them a silent shout out in this video throughout to let you know these are people, if you see that they have a YouTube channel or that you see that they're on Twitter or something like that, go check them out and see what they're doing, because you know what? We all share something in common, and it's Star Wars. So may the 4th be with you, everybody.